I'm speaking today with 27-year-old Donovan Williams, an entrepreneur from Atlanta, Georgia. Come on now, ATL. His dream is to open a recovery center, but his biggest obstacle is what most of our obstacles are. My obstacles in the past have been all of it: credit, crazy, money, income, all of that stuff. And so we're going to talk to Donovan, and we're going to figure out how we're going to get him from 0 to 100. I'm so excited to be here with you, Donovan. Tell me your story. Tell me what's going on.
Well, I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much for this opportunity. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. After graduating college at University of South Alabama, I recently moved back to Atlanta. I got into the wellness field. I was learning different modalities, different things to help support and sustain my body as well as others. And I want to be able to do that on a larger scale. One of the biggest obstacles is, of course, like you said before, credit and finances. And so I'm just thankful for this opportunity to be talking to a professional so that I can, get to the level I need to be at to achieve my dream.
Well, I'm excited because if I had someone to tell me 30 years ago what I'm going to share with you throughout this series, because this is not just a one episode issue. This is about your life. I've had an opportunity to look at your profile. First of all, I just want to say congratulations. Congratulations to you for all that you're doing. Congratulations on having a vision and having the courage to execute it, because I think that's about 95% of the battle. The other 5%, however, is the piece that will either propel you to where you're trying to go quickly or have you stumbling along the way decade after decade. And so my goal is to help you get there as quick as possible. I was a math major in college, and there's a saying, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So I'm going to give you a straight line, okay? So I've looked at your profile, and the very first thing that we want to deal with is your income. So you're out there and you are doing the hustle thing, and I love it. All of your income right now is cash. So as a first-time home buyer and for someone who's going to build wellness centers, I see you being a serial entrepreneur. The first thing I want you to do is to secure some income, stable income from a W-2 job. Now, that might scare you, right? Because us entrepreneurs don't like to work for people, really. But we need people to work for us. And I think the best way to be the example of the people who will eventually work for you is for you to get back in either a corporate environment, a retail environment, or some place that aligns with one thing. It is your ability to earn a stable income consistently, okay? And I would want you to do that for at least the next year, okay? So anything that's legal, ethical, and moral, all right? I don't care what it is. I used to be the vice president at a bank, but I was willing to be the teller or the sweeping lady. It did not matter. Do you all have a check for me? Because that's the game. The game is to get a consistent check, because here's what happens. If you establish income through a W-2 from an employer, then all of your self-employment, your side hustle income on the side will not hurt you. Most self-employed borrowers have to show tax returns, and tax returns show income, and then the income shows business expenses. And so many self-employed borrowers are not able to get approved in a straight line on the first try. So I want you to get approved for a mortgage on the first try. You're going to get an income. You're going to get a job, as many jobs as you can. Okay, get your rest, pray to the Lord, do all those things, but get as many jobs as you can, earning an income in the same field. Okay, so that is going to be key. So if you got a job doing retail at one of the drugstores, if you got a job maybe working in a hospital, helping with nutrition, there are many things that you can do in the area of wellness, and all of those jobs working together will give you what you're going to need, which is number one, income.
That sounds pretty straightforward.
Okay. Yeah. Get the money by any means necessary. That's legal, ethical, and moral. All right. The next area where I see challenges is the area where many of us have had challenges, and that is credit. I'm looking at your credit scores, and I had many challenges with credit coming out of college, getting student loans, getting credit cards, and so on and so forth. So the reason why you want the income, number one, is to be able to pay your monthly expenses. I see that you're right just about breaking even. Your income and your expenses are right there identical. So you have to be very careful. You have to make sure that you are not spending any extra money on jujus. Okay. You know what jujus are?
I know it.
All kind of stuff. right? So right now during this season, you're going to grind. You're going to minimize your expenses as much as possible. So even an extra lunch or two out with the friends, that's not going to work. We're going to eat beans and rice or a grilled cheese sandwich or a peanut butter and jelly, back in the day, or whatever those things are that are healthy that you can consume that are not going to take your whole check, right? So your credit, we've got to now use the income to address the credit. You're going to want to pay off any collections that you have outstanding, and you want to pay them off as you can. So what you don't want to do is be overzealous during this season, because sometimes we'll say, okay, I'm about to do it. I've got my plan. So we call all our creditors, and the creditors forgot about us from 2 or 3 years ago. You don't want to call all of them yet. You want to call them one at a time as you can work out a payment plan to repay them. $10 a month, $50 a month, or whatever it is that you have left over from the income that you are gaining from employment and from all of your side businesses as well, okay? Here's one of the biggest areas we want to address, and that is your student loan. So unfortunately, many of us find ourselves in situations where our student loans get into default. And the one thing I'll say to you, a student loan can be your best friend or your worst adversary when you are in the process of building wealth. It can be your best friend because even if you can't pay the student loan, you can contact the student loan provider and ask for a forbearance. You can ask for a deferment. If you happen to be taking classes while you are in this process of gaining income, perhaps there's an employer who will provide you with tuition reimbursement, right? Or maybe that's something you can negotiate as a part of your strategy in exchange for maybe a smaller salary. Say, hey, well, can I take a couple of classes at the community college working towards an associate's degree or certificate? Well, if you are in school at least 6 hours per semester, then those student loans can be deferred with no interest. So what I want you to do is contact the student loan service providers, all of them that are listed on your credit report, and you want to go into rehabilitation, okay? If you make 6 consecutive payments on your student loan, and it can't be 6 payments lumped in together. So let's say you're going to pay $50 a month, and over 6 months, that's $300. You can't pay $300 at one time. You'd have to pay $50 per month for 6 months. After 6 months, you are back in business. That student loan is turned around on your credit report. It has gone from being your worst adversary to now it's your best friend. Because student loans that are showing up on your credit report as a deferment or in forbearance, as long as you are not in a past due collection status, those are points counted towards your credit score. So what you're then going to see is you've got student loan history. History is one of the main components of your credit score. Now you have on-time payments. On-time payments are a main component of your credit score. And you've got a respectable line item on your credit report. So that's going to turn you from, in the credit world, from a zero to a hero, from an adversary to a very, very good friend. That's going to be critical and key. That would be the first debt that I would say to address. If you've got any additional extra income, then you want to contact any of your other creditors one by one. And this is what you want to do. You want to use the snowball effect. So let's say you have $500 extra a month. What you don't want to do is take the $500 and split it across all the creditors. You want to take as much money as you have. If it's $500, throw it at that one creditor. If that debt is $700, you'll pay that off in a month and a half. Now you're going to take the money that you were spending on that creditor and add it to the next one. And so you'll essentially, I'm seeing that you could not only have 150 to 200 boost in your credit score within the next 12 months, but you will also be in a position to buy that house. Donovan is also going to get the tools that he needs to succeed. He's going to get my book, Living Check to Monday, Living Beyond Check to Monday. Yes, you're approved. The real deal about getting a mortgage and buying a home. Get your money back. Tax deductions you never knew about. Estate planning made simple. He's also going to get the Master Business and Budgeting Journal so that he can track his spending and understand his cash flow at all times.